What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report and welcome back to a brand new video where we talk all things Heat basketball. In today's video, we're going to be talking about ranking the top 5 power forward options for the Miami Heat, because we have talked about the point guard position. It looks almost certain it's going to be Kyle Lowry that the Heat end up with. So we got to talk about the power forward position because that is the second biggest hole, in my opinion, on this team. So before we even do that though, make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. We have just reached 1,100 and we are on the road to 1,200, and you know, you guys are showing love day by day, so I'm really happy, and I'm gonna keep putting out great content for you guys. This is gonna be like the final video before free agency starts, so I'm gonna be wrapping up, you know, all my free agency talk as well, and then we'll see what happens. If we sign someone, I'll go and record another video. I might double upload today depending on that, but this is probably gonna be the last video before free agency starts. So let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about these power forwards that I think the Heat should sign. Now, this was actually requested. It was a video suggestion by my guy Vice. Shout out to Vice in the comments for requesting this video. I thought it was a great idea, and like I said, if you guys have any ideas, please leave it down in the comment section below for me to do, and I look at all the comments, I read all the comments, and there's a chance I might, you know, do one of your video suggestions. So like I said, leave your comments, video suggestions in the comment section below, and also use the comment section as frequently as possible. Leave a like and also hit that subscribe button so you guys do not miss a single video of mine. Turn on post notifications. So let's get right into it, man. The number 5 guy on my list is a guy we've been linked with. Nicolas Patoom is the guy we're going to be talking about as the 5th option for the power forward position for the Heat. Obviously, a lot of these guys are the same type of player. I had to go with the guy that complimented Bam. So number 1, the first thing off the bat that I look for is a guy that could shoot the ball. And if he can't shoot the ball, if he can score the ball at least. And Nicolas Patoom is he's a guy who's made his career off of shooting three-pointers. He's a career 36% three-point shooter, but last season he shot 40% from 3, which is really good. And I think he would be a great pickup for the Miami Heat. I think he's a guy that can play stretch 4. He's a guy that can play stretch 3, and I think that he can be a great option for any team because he can defend and he can shoot, and that's the main thing that complements Bam. You know, him and Bam would be a great, you know, defensive front court. The only thing I question about Nicolas Patoom and why I didn't have him higher is because he's a little bit undersized. He's only about 6'8". He's not the biggest. He's not the best rebounder. So I have him at 5. I don't have him a little bit higher because of that. And I don't think the probability of signing him is as high as the other guys that I have on this list. And yeah, that's what I have to say about Patoom, man. I think he'd be a good alternative to whoever we had, you know, Trevor Ariza. At the end of the season, I think Patoom is better than him, so I think he would be a good alternative to Trevor Ariza, and he would be a good complement to Bam at that power forward position. Number 4, I have a guy that probably would have put higher if it wasn't for his age. Paul Millsap at number 4. I think Paul Millsap is a guy that would come in and he would bring a lot of things, but his main 2 things: he's a very good rebounder for his position. He can shoot the 3 ball. He can play defense. And yeah, I think that. I would love Paul Millsap on this team, you know. Obviously, Paul Millsap, like Nicolas Patoom, a little bit undersized, but I do think Paul Millsap is a better rebounder than Nicolas Patoom. I know, you know, the numbers last year might not have said it, but I just, like, based on me watching Paul Millsap and Nick Patoom throughout their careers, Paul Millsap has definitely been the better rebounder, which is why he's higher on this list. I would have put him at the top 3 positions if it weren't for his age. He's already 36, so I don't know if Paul Millsap is a realistic option for the Heat, but I would like Paul Millsap on the team. He can definitely shoot the 3 ball. He can shoot, you know, space the floor. He can also finish at the rim a lot better than Nicolas Patoom can. So I have Paul Millsap at number 4. He would be, I think, a good alternative at that power forward position. Now, the top 3 is where I think the separation begins. The 4, 5, Nick Patoom and Paul Millsap are cool, but I would much rather have these top 3 guys. Number 3, I have Rudy Gay. I think Rudy Gay is a guy that I've talked about so many times on this channel. I think he's been a very underrated player throughout his career. I loved him at Memphis when he was playing with Memphis, and obviously he's coming to the end of his career now, but he's only 34, so he's not, you know, old or anything like that. I saw someone in the comments saying Rudy Gay's washed. Well, I mean, yeah, you can say that he's not the same player he was before, but you can be 34 and still be able to shoot the ball. Like, what he brings to the game is not something that's going to diminish over time. Like, his 3-point shooting has been consistent throughout his whole career. He specifically shot 38% from 3 last year. He's even shown flashes that he can score the ball, still averaging 11 points per game. He's even rebounded the ball better than Nicolas Patoom and Paul Millsap. So I like Rudy Gay a lot. I think that Rudy Gay would be a great fit for the Heat. And yeah, I just think that Rudy Gay would be a great compliment to Bam. I think he can score the ball, play defense, and shoot threes, and that's all we need at that power forward position for that mid-level exception, because that's what we're probably going to use it on. I think the mid-level exception is going to be on a power forward. I don't think we're going to be using it on anything else. I think Lowry is going to take up, a spot, and then obviously matching one of Duncan Robinson or Kendrick Nunn. I think it's going to be Robinson. I'm very, I'm almost 90%, 100% sure. I don't want to guarantee anything because anything can happen, but I'm very confident that Duncan Robinson will be back on the Heat next year. Kendrick Nunn, I think, might have to let go. I think Kendrick Nunn is as good as an unrestricted free agent. I think that Kendrick Nunn is going to go wherever the money goes, and that's not a bad thing. I just think that we don't have the money to throw at K Nunn like that, so I think he's gone. But I think Robinson will stay, and the remaining $9.5 million mid-level exception we probably use on a power forward. And that was the benefit of going over the cap when we decided to pick up the option on Dragic instead of letting him go. If we had let Dragic go, we probably could have gotten Kyle Lowry without having to trade Dragic or trade Precious Achiuwa, but we would not have the mid-level exception to sign another player, or we would not have the capability of matching our restricted guys. So that was the benefit of going over the cap, and this mid-level exception will probably be used on a power forward. So Rudy Gay, again, I would love Rudy Gay. I think he would probably take this offer if we made it to him. And yeah, that's all I have to say about him. Number 2, Jeff Green. Jeff Green is number 2. I just read somewhere that Jeff Green is the favorite. He is favored to go to the Heat. That's what I read. And this is from, I'm pretty sure it's from a Twitter account that I saw. I don't know how reliable this is, so do not take my word for it. I'm gonna give them credit though. It is NBA Analysis Network at Hoop Analysis Net, and Evan Massey retweeted it, and y'all probably know who he is. He's probably reliable. So they said that the Miami Heat are the current front runners to sign free agent forward Jeff Green. This is also via Legion Hoops as well. So I mean, there might be something in this, because the Heat have liked Jeff Green. A lot of people, even like some people from 5 Reasons Sports, have said that Jeff Green is a guy that's been linked to the Heat like heavily. So I mean, I would not mind Jeff Green whatsoever. He's only 34 like Rudy Gay, so he's not old, but he's getting up there in age. He shot 41% from 3, and he just made big shots. Like the thing that I remember about Jeff Green from this past season is that game when KD had 49 against the Bucks, but it was Jeff Green who I'm pretty sure pitched in with like 26, 27. So he has the knack to make big shots, big plays. He's a guy that he's a veteran. He brings that grit, that defense, the aggressiveness, and he's also a great 3-point shooter. Like, he's probably the best 3-point shooter on this list as far as percentage goes. So Jeff Green, I would absolutely love Jeff Green. So he's the number 2, and the number 1 is probably a surprise. I have Demar Derozan. Now, you guys might say Demar Derozan is not a power forward. Last year he did play power forward with the Spurs, but I understand why people will say he's not a power forward, because that's not his natural position. But if he comes on the Heat, he will have to play the power forward position, especially if we match Duncan Robinson, which looks like we will, because Duncan Robinson, I think, will probably be back on the team, and I'm thinking Oladipo might be back on the team as well. So if both of them are back on the team, DeMar DeRozan can't play the shooting guard position because there's 2 of them already. We have a hole at the power forward position, so he's gonna have to play that. We might be undersized. I know he's only like 6'6", but he played the power forward position last year with the Spurs. So that's what I find interesting with DeMar DeRozan, man. I think DeMar DeRozan is a really, really good player, and I think that he can be a guy that we get. And I know, like, we'll talk about like the spacing. The spacing, I know, is a thing that's been brought up by a lot of people, but I think the Heat have had spacing in past teams, but have just not got over the hump. Like in the finals, we had spacing. We had shooters. We had shooters like Jay Crowder, Duncan Robinson, Hero was a sniper in the bubble. Goran Dragic was our leading scorer. Butler was hitting threes in the finals. We had a lot of shooting in the finals. Like, don't get it twisted. We had a lot of shooting, but the reason we couldn't get over the hump is, even with all the spacing you have, if you don't have the talent, you're not gonna win. So DeMar DeRozan, I know we lack the spacing that we had in past teams, but you make up for that with talent. And this is what I'll say, you know, it's much easier to find guys that can shoot the ball than find guys that are, you know, go-to options for you to, you know, score the ball. And I think that Demar Derozan, it's a lot easier to find a guy, you know, like a sniper, like a Duncan Robinson. Let's take Duncan Robinson, okay? Let's take Demar Derozan. You can find a lot more guys with Duncan Robinson's skill set than you can with Demar Derozan's skill set, because Demar Derozan, what he brings is more than just shooting the ball. He's not one-dimensional. This is no disrespect to Duncan. He's very valuable to the Heat, but you can find a guy at the power forward position for a very, very, you know, veteran minimum type deal who can, you know, sit in the corner and shoot threes. You know, guys like PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza, none of these guys were getting, you know, paid big bucks when they joined the Heat and the Bucks, but they played their role. And it was a lot easier for the Bucks to get a PJ Tucker than to trade for a guy like Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday, I know, is a guy that can shoot the ball, but he's not a sniper like the guys like you know, PJ Tucker and Bryn Forbes that they had. So we can always still address the shooting problem if we need to. We can always sign a guy like a Reggie Bullock or a Wayne Ellington or, you know, anyone for like that for a cheaper deal who can come in and just shoot threes. And we don't don't forget, we still have Max Strus on the team as well. So if we need to plug in Max Strus anywhere, we have him. So that's what I have to say about that. DeMar DeRozan, he will come in and be a guy that can become one of our main options, you know. And I know I've seen something that's saying that DeMar DeRozan is a target for the Knicks and they have mutual interest. Now, if he goes to the Knicks, fair play to the Knicks, you know. But he's just, I've seen a lot more about the Heat with DeRozan than the Knicks. So I'm not gonna say I'm, you know, confident or anything like that, but I have a feeling that the Heat can pull this off. And if they do, you know, shout out to the Heat. And as I'm recording this video, I just saw a tweet from Barry Jackson saying that the Heat has told Deadman that they want him back, but Deadman has expected to generate interest in the league after his strong performance with the Heat. And this poses a question of whether the Heat will offer a minimum deal or maybe more with the $3.6 million biannual exception. So this is interesting too, because Dwayne Deadman is a guy we haven't really talked about. This is not related to any of the power forwards. I'm just looking at my tweets and I just saw someone I just saw Barry Jackson tweet out this, so I'm just going to talk about it real quick. I would love Dwayne Deadman back as a backup center. I would absolutely, you know, love him. I think we can get him, I would be willing to pay him the $3.6 million biannual exception if we need to, because I really do think that he's the perfect backup center for us. And we do need a backup center, especially if we're probably going to trade Precious in the Lowry deal. A backup center is necessary, so we can't afford losing out on Deadman. So I would try to keep him as, you know, as much as possible, for sure. And that's what I have to say about Deadman. And I think that's it for power forwards. We'll talk about this Mark Stein report as well. You know, apparently the Heat are strong favorites to re-sign restricted free agent sharpshooter Duncan Robinson with or without the addition of DeRozan. And these are believed to be attempting to make all of these moves without surrendering Tyler Hero via trade. So this is interesting. So what this basically means is that Duncan Robinson is almost a shoo-in to get re-signed by the Heat. And they're trying to trade for DeRozan, and they're trying to make all their moves without giving up Tyler Hero. Now, if they pull this off, if they pull this off, then Andy Ellsberg deserves a statue. So does Pat Riley, but Andy Ellsberg is the GM. He's the main GM of the team. Pat Riley's the owner, but he deserves a statue because this is going to be insane. If we can get DeRozan, Duncan Robinson, and then keep Hero and also get Lowry, I would love that. So I hope this is true. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this situation. I named my 5 power forwards. Hopefully we sign at least one of them. I'm assuming one of these guys will be on the Heat. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm very confident that one of these 5 guys that I've just named will be on the Heat next year. And if I'm wrong, I'll take it on the chin. But I have a feeling. I don't have any sources or anything like that to back me up, so don't come in my head. This is just my hunch that one of these 5 people, based on what I've been seeing from a lot of reports, one of these 5 guys, in my opinion, will be on the Heat along with Kyle Lowry next year. So we'll see who it is. We'll see what the Heat do. Free agency is just around the corner, 4 hours away as I'm recording this video. I'm so excited. I'll see y'all later as always, man. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your final free agency wish list, and I will be giving my thoughts as we sign some players and as we trade for some players after free agency starts. So I'll see y'all later as always. Peace.